laziness creeps in when you don't love Baba. Yes, so Baba says you mustn't have the slightest laziness in studying or in yoga. However, some children think that not everyone will become part of the rosary of victory, and that not everyone will become a king and they therefore become lazy. Do you think like that? That even if I do everything, I cannot become like Mama and Baba, or I cannot be part of the rosary of victory because already so many so many souls have made that effort, and now I think the rosary is already fixed, and so why do I study? Or so you become lazy, basically in studying and in yoga. So you are not inspired enough to make that effort. So Baba says they don't pay attention to studying, whereas those who have full love for the Father will study accurately. They cannot be lazy. Now I want you to have the background of a story of the yajna for understanding this. And in this incident, Mama used to take care of all the seva, and every direction that Baba gave, Mama instantly put it into practice. And one day there was a party. So a party is a group that visited Madhuban, and they were leaving from Madhuban, and then they were already, they had taken permission from Baba to leave, and they had said goodbye and they were leaving. And at that time Baba called Mama and said, Baba would like that his children who are leaving now from Madhuban ate some halwa. So they had some halwa as toli. So Mama, make halwa. So now Mama instantly went and she started making halwa. Now there was a young sister there, and she said, why are you making halwa just because Baba said it? Don't you understand that now the party has already started? So they have already left Madhuban, and by the time your halwa will be prepared, they would already have boarded the train and gone. So your halwa won't reach them anyway. So it's a waste of time and effort. And Mama listened to everything, but she kept preparing the halwa. And then she, after preparing the halwa, because Baba had said so, she just went and handed it over to Baba that, you see, this halwa is done. And then Baba sent a messenger, and there was this one brother, and he took a bicycle and went after the party, and then he found them on the, I think, the bus stand or the railway station, wherever it was, and then he gave the halwa as toli to them. And when those dear brothers and sisters, those dear children of Baba, they received that toli of halwa, they were so happy that they cried in happiness, and tears flew from their eyes because they could feel the love that Baba had in sending that halwa to them. And you see that what was Mama driven by when Baba said that you prepare halwa? So Mama did not use her logic. Mama did not question, whether the time distance allowed her to, made it feasible for the halwa to be sent or not. She did not apply any logic of the world, the only logic she applied was the logic of love. And the logic of love says, do as the Father says. Not because of the result it would give, but because Baba has said it. So let me ask myself, what is my logic? So whatever I am doing, every soul, every child of Baba is following Srimad. But when I am following Srimad, am I doing it because of some worldly logic that I understand? Or am I doing it for love for Baba? So is my logic a worldly logic, or is it the logic of love? Because you see that worldly logic has a limitation, and sometimes you will do something and your logic will say, just like today Baba gave an example that you're doing yoga, you are studying, but then you will sometimes have a thought that I cannot actually go faster than the souls who have done tapasya for so long. So what will be my number? I will anyway become a subject. So I will lose heart and stop studying. That is the logic of the world. But if I use the logic of love, that I am not doing it for a position, or I am not doing it for a status. That status, that position is a byproduct. But I am doing it because my Baba has come from the soul world and he is here sitting before me and telling me to do this. So how can I not do this? My logic of getting up at Amrit Vela is not that my sins will be burnt, but my logic of getting up at Amrit Vela is that I am sitting before my Baba who is here to nourish me and sustain me. So if the child is awake, then the parent is awake. If the parent is awake, then the children. So sometimes the parents are dealing with something and they are awake at night, then the children also just stay awake, just like that, because of the love and just feeling the companionship of the parent. Similarly, Baba says, I am here, I sit at Amrit Vela to, I have given you the direction to come and sit before me in Amrit Vela. So you wake up because of love, you sit because of love. You do everything you do because of love for Baba, not for any other logic. So this is the logic of love. And let me ask myself, am I driven by the logic of love, or am I using worldly logic? Because in this path, what I have experienced is worldly logic will always fail. So if you think, I'm doing it because this will result in this, this and this, sometimes Maya will make you feel that that result is not coming. So, let me give you a very simple example. So, when I came into Gyan, so I felt that the problems in life will finish. So, I did some sins in past birth, which we understood when we came into Gyan, okay, that 63 births of sins are there. So I will burn them in yoga and they will finish, okay. So I was very happy that this is the logic, that as I do more and more yoga, and then the sins will be burned and the problems will finish and life will get easier and easier. But then, okay, the past sins are getting burnt because I'm doing yoga. But the more and more we started doing seva, so purity, seva, all these things, when you decide to follow Baba's Srimad, then what happens is that you start doing things which are against, which people don't understand, which are beyond people's understanding. And then you start doing seva, and then there are so many obstacles. So then my logic that life will get better and easier failed. But then I understood that you have to do it for love of Baba. And love is a power, and love can fuel you in many ways. And when you do it out of love for Baba, then Baba will give you that fire of love, and that fire of love will drive you. And also, when you are driven by Baba's love, you feel Baba's sustenance, you feel Baba's cooperation, you feel Baba's companionship. So apparently, I think that from experience, what I tell you is that don't use any worldly logic when it comes to spiritual matters. So when it comes to spiritual matters, I, the soul, follow Srimad because of love for Baba. And if you apply worldly logic, at some point it will fail. At some point it will fail. Now you see that if you apply worldly logic and say that I should feel more peaceful when I meditate. But do you know, when you meditate, all your inner demons are getting activated because they were somewhere lurking in the subconscious and unconscious. But now that you're cleaning the upper layers, all the inner ones will come out. And then when they come out, you feel like it's too much to handle. But then because you're driven by Baba's love, you can, pacify them, and after some time they will also go away. And then the core, the center, the core of the soul, which is full of peace, happiness, will emerge. But then, do you understand that the core is kind of surrounded by so many things? So the dirtiest core, the dirtiest matter that surrounds is just very adjacent to the core. So just like, there is, I think there is this book called The Journey to the Center of the Earth. And in that book they say that in the center of the earth there is a lot of treasures. But then the journey to the center of the earth is not easy. So when you, and what can motivate you on this journey to the center of the soul? So the center of the soul, the heart of the soul is all full of treasures. But going within is not easy, because the more you do yoga, you will be uncovering the matter that is hidden inside. And suddenly, you were okay with ego and that bandage of ego, and everything was going fine. And suddenly all that ego is stripped off, and now you know that you're not as pure as you thought. So, all your feelings and your everything you're seeing, and then you understand that you're a big mess. And then dealing with that accepting that I'm a big mess, and yet it's okay because Baba is still with me, and Baba has chosen to be with this big mess, so I can't be that big a mess, and I and Baba together can clear it up. So this kind of a faith, comes from love for Baba. So I think that in the Murli today, what Baba is saying is, don't be driven by results or some worldly logic. So like Baba said that, don't think that, whether I can make it or not make it. Whether you can make it or not make it will only be decided when you try. Whether you can make it or not make it will only be decided when you try. But how will you try when if you're motivated by result, you cannot try. Because if you feel that maybe I'll not make it, then you don't try, and you definitely not make it. But Baba says that if you try because you love Baba, then you will definitely make it. And most people, so this the other day there was this one girl, and she was saying that I wanted to appear for IES, so engineering services, and now that I have tried once or twice and I have not succeeded, so now I have decided that I want to settle for the junior engineer exam, and then I'm preparing for that, for the JEE. And then I said, so she said, I feel very disappointed that I couldn't clear my ES. So I asked her, is your age over? So I think the age is 30 or something. So is that over? So she said, no. So I said, is your number of attempts over? So she said, no. So then I said, who told you you couldn't make it? So you left it midway because of your own thoughts. And if you can't deal with your own thoughts which are weak, then how can you crack an exam? It's not possible. So then she said, no, there are other constraints, and then I have to get married, and then I need a job. So I said, you see that if you keep applying your faulty logic everywhere, then you cannot say that the drama didn't help me fulfill my dreams. It is you that gave up. And until and unless you try till the end, how do you know whether you were destined to succeed or not? And then I told her, okay, if you have financial constraints, that is just one aspect. You have financial constraints. So what you do is you clear the junior engineer exam, and then you take support from your officers, and then you prepare for ES. So that is one method. But if you entertain these weak thoughts, then you cannot succeed. So this is what Baba says. So there will be Maya coming in the form of weak thoughts, and that Maya will tell you that it's better to not waste time trying also. But Baba says, do it for love for Baba. And Baba says that those who have full love for the Father will study accurately. They cannot be lazy. They will study accurately. They cannot be lazy. And if you're not lazy, then obviously you will reach your destination. So this is something. Now, so very connected with this thing is another thing, which is which Baba talks about in the blessing today. And today Baba says that in Hindi it is said very beautifully. Baba says, "Mohabbat mein mehnat nahi hoti." So where there is love, you don't feel you're doing a lot of hard work. But I would like to talk about one sentence which is very important. So Baba says, the power of love makes hard work easy. Where there is love, there is no hard work. Hard work becomes a form of entertainment. Souls who are tied in various bondages have to work hard. But souls who love God easily become free from having to work hard. Let this blessing of love be constantly in your awareness. And then, no matter how big a situation may be, with love, a situation as big as a mountain will be transformed and becomes light like water. So, the important thing that I want to discuss today is, let this blessing of love be constantly in your awareness. So you see that Baba says that there is a blessing that is associated when you do everything with Baba's love. And let me underline, when Baba says love, it is only Baba's love. Everything else that we call love is not love. So when people say, I'm doing this out of love for another human being, they don't know the distinction between lust and attachment and love. That is why they use the word love, but it is not love. So Baba says that when you do things out of Baba's love, then the power of Baba's love will make it easy and will make a mountain transform into something that is light like water. But what you have to do is, you have to let this blessing of love constantly be in your awareness. So you see that love has the power, but you will see the power of love eventually. You will see the power of love eventually. It will reveal itself eventually. But for that, you have to keep it in your awareness. Now, this subject of awareness and karma is very important. Now, when you are doing something good, you should know it is good, hold it in your awareness and do it. Yes, because if you are doing something good, obviously it is good karma. But then if you don't keep that in your awareness, then you don't receive the power of it, because your thought, word and act are not in sync. Now in the world, people talk about this thing called being in the present moment, or keeping it in your awareness. And let me give you an example which will make it clear. So there was this one survey which was conducted on housekeeping staff of a hotel. And in that hotel, there was a lot of housekeeping staff, and the housekeeping staff did all the physical work. So, cleaning and the setting of bed sheets and removing everything. And it was all physical labor. So it involved a lot of physical work. And then there was this one incident where there was a team, and they said that they surveyed the housekeeping staff and they asked them, do you exercise? And the housekeeping staff thought that what we do is work, we don't exercise. So when they were working, they only thought we are laboring, we are working, we are slogging for money, it is our, it is our majburi. So, we have to do work, we have to do, not want to do. So when you go to the gym and exercise, you think, I want to exercise. But when you work, your idea is, I have to work. So they also moved with this awareness that we have to do what we have to do to earn our bread and butter. But then this team, they told them that what you do as work can be counted as exercise. And then they gave them a small demo about which aspect of their work synchronizes with which gym equipment and what are the number of calories they burn when they do that. So let's say they are shifting a bed sheet or something, so that's equal to these many squats and these many crunches and these things, and they were given a whole demo about it. And then they were told that now what you do is, when you do your work, just keep this in your awareness that today I built this muscle or I lost these many calories while doing this, and do it with that awareness. And then after some time, when they were asked about how they feel now about the whole thing, then they said that they feel happier, healthier and better. So, and have they done anything extra in the week? No. The same things they did earlier are being done, but now they feel happier, healthier and better. Why? Because they held that in their awareness. Okay, so that is what Baba is also saying, that you see, now earlier also they were exercising, now also they are exercising, but what is the difference? They are exercising and are aware that they are exercising. So you know, there is one aspect called karma and another aspect is awareness. So now one thing is, let me give you a caution also here. So there is a cautionary note also. Now if you kill somebody and you think it is good, it doesn't become good. Okay, so let's say, you know, a butcher is killing and he thinks that I'm killing to feed people, but that is not justified. It's not like if you do bad karma and you keep in your awareness that this is good, then it doesn't work. But if you're doing good karma and you're not in the awareness, then the benefit of that karma is compromised. Yes, and I remember, you know, yesterday Baba talked about seva and happiness. And Baba said that anybody who is doing seva, true seva and yog yukt seva will always feel double light, happy. They will experience the virtues of Baba. All that is fine, but I have seen many souls who do a lot of seva but don't experience happiness. And one reason I have figured out is, when they are doing seva, they don't keep it in their awareness that Baba is blessing me because of this. So, you know, it is also very important to hold it in your awareness. Sometimes we don't have the, so Baba says that whatever you do, be Gyan Swarup about it. So when you are sitting in yoga, you have to hold in your awareness also. So Baba says you have to do what I say, and I have told you that it is giving you some benefit also. But when I have told you it is giving you that benefit, keep that in your awareness. Now let's say you go out in the morning sun and the sun is giving you vitamin D, but you have no awareness that it is giving you vitamin D. You are thinking that the sun is damaging your skin. Then what happens is, the sun is giving you vitamin D, but, and of course it has some effect because you are under the sun, but then your thoughts are doing much more damage than the benefit. So this is why it is very, very important to understand this alignment between karma and awareness of karma, because sometimes you're doing something bad, but because you don't have knowledge, you keep thinking it's a good thing, but it doesn't work like that. And then sometimes, but you know, but when you are really unaware, like, you know, a child. So let's say, let's take the example of a child. So a child took away something which is normally called stealing, but then the child is completely unaware. The child thinks that he is taking this to help somebody. Then when you understand the logic of it, you also bless the child. You are not angry on him. Why? Because that awareness helped him. So there is karma and there is awareness. But the thing is, when an adult does it, he doesn't do it totally oblivious of what karma he is doing. So he somewhere knows, but then he just chooses to do it anyway. So Baba says that I am giving you the knowledge of karma. I am telling you that when you do things out of love, and in karma, Baba says, it's not just what you do, but how you do it. So Baba says, you must do seva, you must balance the household with seva. So Baba says, do seva, also do household work, and sometimes it will feel like too much work. But Baba says, when you do it with love, then love will make it feel like entertainment. But you have to keep this in your awareness that I am doing it in Baba's love and it is feeling like entertainment, then it will feel like entertainment. But if you don't hold that blessing of love in your awareness, that when I do something with love, it must feel like entertainment. When you don't hold that blessing, then the power of blessing is not received by you. And then there is another thing that Baba says, souls who are tied in various bondages have to work hard. And what is the sign of a bondage? So what is the sign of somebody who is in bondage? They will always speak the language, I have to do this, I am forced to do this, I don't want to do this, but how can I avoid it? So that is the sign of somebody who is in bondage. And then what is the sign of somebody who is doing it out of love? They always say, I choose to do this, I want to do this, this makes me happy. Okay, so when you are waking up in the morning, do you think that, you know, the burden of sins is too high, so I have to get up in the morning? So that is the sign of a soul in bondage. And then they don't feel Baba's love. But when you do it out of love, you feel that, you know, after 5,000 years, my Baba has come and he's giving me an opportunity to meet him. And I'm here meeting my Baba, and I choose to, I'm waiting for this moment to wake up in the morning and sit before Baba. I love this moment. This is the happiest moment of the day. And then when you do it, then you will feel like getting up in the morning is a pleasure. So this is something about the balance between, you know, doing the right thing and holding the awareness that you are doing the right thing. Because Baba says, every good karma comes with a blessing. So, you know, every good karma is done on Baba's direction, and when you do anything on Baba's direction, Baba's blessings is with you. But then Baba says that every good karma comes with a blessing, but only when you hold that blessing in your heart will you receive the power of that blessing. Okay, and today Baba in the whole Murli is telling us that 2.5 months later there is Shiv Jayanti. And yes, there is, so Shiv Jayanti is coming, and Baba says that you must celebrate Shiv Jayanti with a lot of pomp and splendor. And Baba says, in the world, people are born every day, they die every day, doesn't mean anything, and yet they celebrate it so much. And here, I, the highest on high, has come, and you must celebrate my birthday with a lot of pomp and splendor, because when you celebrate my birthday And in this celebration, you announce to the world that the Creator Himself has come and He is giving us an inheritance. Then anybody who gets that message can come and claim his inheritance from Baba. So every child who is a child of God is moving like an orphan, neglected, moving like a pauper, doesn't have anything. And Baba says, when you announce to the world on Shiv Jayanti that your Baba has come, my Baba has come, and he is giving an inheritance to each one of us, then anybody who understands the message according to drama plan will greatly benefit from it. And Baba says, anyways, those who have to understand will understand according to drama. But your duty is to not leave any soul who would blame you at the end that you did not tell me that God had arrived. So this is the thing that Baba says. And another important thing in the Murli today, I feel, is about keeping a register of manners. So today Baba talks about paying attention to yoga because of love for Baba, and then Baba talks about seva, but Baba also talks about manners, and Baba says you keep a register of manners every day. Now, have you seen that in the school, when we go to school, then there is a register, and I don't know whether they do it these days, but in my time, what they did was they had columns of punctuality, obedience, discipline, integrity, all these things, they were there, and they used to give us good, better, best in that column. So Baba says, now let me ask you one thing. If you were very obedient for 3 months in the school, and then for another 6 months you were not obedient, and then towards the end also you were a little obedient, then what would they give you? Best. They would give you probably a good, okay, but or maybe a bad also sometimes. So the thing is, Baba says, this register which will be checked at the end has to be marked on a daily basis. When we talk about a register, what we do every day counts. And Baba says sometimes, when we come to Gyan, at that time we have clarity, and we receive Baba's knowledge, we get it, we start making effort, we pay attention to our virtues. But then slowly down the line, maybe we lose focus. And then we don't pay attention to virtues a lot. And this is one kind of short-sightedness, where as you grow older, your vision gets blurred. And sometimes, this spiritual vision also gets blurred as you get older in Gyan. And this is why Baba says, keep checking very closely, have a very clear vision about what you are doing today, and check according to Baba's Srimad whether you are being dictated by virtues or vices. Because if sometimes, some way down the line, somewhere you lose track and you start becoming body conscious, you don't even know how, when you start giving sorrow, when you start being bitter, when you stop being on the path to be a deity. So Baba says, beware. It is not that, sometimes I've heard BKs saying, we've been in Gyan for 15 years or 20 years. That's not what counts. What counts is, what did you do today? How have you been today? Are you behaving like a person who is 15-year-old in Gyan? That's what's important, because there is a very good saying, what you believe is not important, how you behave is important. And the behavior is the mirror. So Baba says, just look at your actions and check whether you have gone astray from the path of being a deity. That's very important, and today Baba gives it as a warning in the Murli. Okay, Om Shanti.